So my introduction to heavy metal toxicity was in 1994. I was the chief of emergency medicine at Moncrief Army Community Hospital. Can't say that fast. And Moncrief is in Columbia, South Carolina. I was with the Army at the time. And I headed up the emergency medicine department. I had a guy that came in 2 o'clock in the morning, chief complaint of rectal bleeding for like months, 10 months. And of course, the first question was, sir, why did you come in at 2 o'clock in the morning with a complaint that you've had for 10 months? Well, what was the reason? And he said, well, I had this rectal bleeding. And I said, why didn't you go see a doctor earlier? And he said, well, my chelation doctor told me not to worry about it. So my question was, what the hell is chelation? And who is this idiot that told this patient that his rectal bleeding would be cleared up with whatever the chelation is? That was in 1994. It's 2008 now, it's 14 years later, and today I'm the chairman of the American Board of Clinical Metal Toxicology. So I train all the doctors in the United States that are board certified in heavy metal toxicity. Of the 3,500 doctors that do this treatment, only 150 are board certified. And the organization, the ABCMT, the American Board of Clinical Metal Toxicology, which has been around for 28 years now, I head that organization up now. So it's a huge transformation for me to go from this one extreme to the other extreme. Now the lesson here is that the tool versus the user. Never make that mistake. A gun is a bad thing because it kills people, and cars are great because they're a mode of transportation. But that gun becomes very useful if somebody's breaking into your house and you have to protect your family, and that car becomes a lethal weapon if you put an alcoholic behind it, right? So the point is that you can't blame the treatment, but it's the user, the person who's utilizing that treatment that you have to blame if they don't do it appropriately. And what I've found in medicine is just like anything else. You find a good mechanic, you better stick with a good mechanic. Well, doctors the same way. You go to 10 mechanics, you're going to get 20 different opinions. You go to 10 doctors, you're going to get 40 different opinions. But it's the same type of a scenario. That particular doctor was not utilizing the treatment in the proper capacity. But heavy metal toxicity is a huge issue in all chronic disease. So that's the first toxicity. I believe it's endemic in our society. The second one, POPs. Does anybody know what POPs are? Persistent organic pollutants. These are the various chemicals that you may have heard of. Preservatives, insecticides, pesticides. These are the benzenes, the toluenes, the organophosphates, the fluorinated hydrocarbons, all these various types of chemicals that we're exposed to on a daily basis, many of which we're not even aware of. Now, Environmental Working Group, EWG.org. You can go to this website. Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up sign there, so you're obviously familiar with them. EWG.org published a study July 14th of 2005. I may be wrong, it may be July 14th, 2006, but anyway, I know it's July 14th. And it was a 74-page study where they took placental cord blood. This is blood from newborn babies, first day on the planet. And they checked them for chemicals and metals. And off those chemicals and metals, they checked for 413, and they found 287 of these substances that are associated with neurodegenerative disease, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, every type of pathology you can imagine. First day on the planet. How? How is that possible? It's because the mother, which in all species, the mother is a vector that provides nutrition and all support for the fetus while the fetus is growing. But the mother's not just providing nutrition to the fetus, she's providing everything. That's one reason bone mass actually decreases in a pregnant woman, because all the calcium is being sent and shunted to the fetus. Well, if the mother's toxic, guess what? As she's shunting all the nutrient supply, everything is going to be going with that. Anything that's in her system is going to go with that nutrient supply. So these babies are actually poisoned before they're even getting into our planet. It's because of all these various types of substances that we're exposed to. So the reason they call them persistent organic pollutants is because once they get into the system, they become very difficult to get rid of. And they actually lock up our system. And so you need to do certain types of things that will help the biological process to break these chemicals down into smaller elements that the body can now expel. So we use things such as ozone, infrared sauna, so the body can get rid of these things. The ozone is actually, when we do that, we actually take blood, ozonate it, put it back in the body, and the German literature actually describes very eloquently how ozone actually helps to break down these persistent organic pollutants into forms that the body can now start to eliminate. So that's our second toxicity, persistent organic pollutants. So heavy metals for one, persistent organic pollutants two.